We live in a very fast-paced world. Most of us enjoy our stimulants. I'm a huge coffee fan, just to keep going and keep up to pace. But today we're going to slow the pace down. We're going to do 3 rounds of Wim Hof breathing. We're going to follow that by a beautiful slow flow vinyasa class. Even our adjoining movements of chaturanga and downward dog, we're going to hold for a little bit longer. We are going to burn into the muscles, and while we do that, I want us to go inside. I want us to feel the breath and move the breath into the areas where we're using the muscle, and really focus and make this a mindful, uplifting practice. And if you have any suggestions for more videos, please let me know in the comments below or on my website. And if you like it, then press the like button, and if you'd like to see more, subscribe and press the notification. See you at the end. So as usual, we're going to kickstart this yoga class with 3 rounds of Wim Hof breathing. And in the 3rd round, we're going to come into what's called in Kundalini yoga, celibate pose. And so what you do is you sit in between your feet, and you can either lean back onto your elbows, but if that's comfortable, you can take it to a slight back bend by lying back onto the floor on the shoulders and bringing the arms over the head, binding onto the elbows. And we're going to hold that for 1 minute with the breath out in our last breath hold. Okay, so we're going to start off with 2 rounds though, with a 1.5 minute breath hold, either seated or lying down. Okay, so let's start. 30 breaths, belly breath in through the tummy, chest, head, let it go. Stomach, chest, head, let it go. Big breath in, stomach, chest, head, let it go. Belly, chest, head, let it go. Belly, chest, head, let it go. We're waving these breaths in like the sea lapping against the shore. It's beautiful circular breaths waving in and out. In and out. Wave the breath in and out. I want you to breathe into 100% of your capacity and breathe out to 70%. Breathing in and out. In and out. I'm breathing in and out through my mouth, as I find I can get more air in that way. And for a short while doing this process, that's absolutely safe. If you feel panicky at any time, then revert to breathing in as hard as you can through the nose. So breathing in and out. In and out. You're doing really well. We've got 10 more. In and out. Belly, chest, head, let it go. Waving in and out. You should now start to have a few sensations in the body, maybe in the feet and the fingers, a little lightheaded. If you do need to lie down and you're sitting up with me, do that. Just never do this practice standing, driving, or near water, or anywhere where you could hurt yourself if you fell. 2 more, and this is our last one. Biggest breath yet. In and out, and we're going to hold this breath fully out for 1 minute 30 seconds. If you need to take a breath before that, it's absolutely fine. Take your recovery breath in, hold it for 15 seconds, and then commence breathing again. However, if you'd like to hold your breath longer, I'll give you a 10-second cue where you can pause the video and hold it for as long as you like. So really focus now on the sensations in the body. Tingling in the ears, the face, and the fingers and the toes. Any noises within the body, rushing in the ears or buzzing. Really feel and lean into these sensations. If you'd like to pinch your nose shut to prevent any air seeping in, that's a good idea. What I do during this breath hold, we've done 1 minute, is to put some pressure at the front of my face, behind the nose, to stop any air seeping in. But some people find pinching their nose works really well. So do what suits you. This is your time. This is your practice. You've shown up for you, not for me. We've got 10 seconds left here if you want to pause the video. 5 seconds left. Okay, let's take that big belly breath in, forcing all of the air from the perineum up into the brain. Imagine you are pushing oxygen right into between the eyes, in the third eye, the pineal gland, detoxifying, decalcifying, and let it go. Right, let's begin round number 2, 30 breaths in. Belly, chest, head, let it go. Belly, chest, head, let it go. Belly, chest, head, let it go. Waving in and out. In and out. In and out. Some people mention that when they first start doing Wim Hof breathing, they get pains in their back and across their shoulders and in their chest, and that's quite normal. That's using more muscles from the diaphragm and around the rib cage than we're used to, and you will extend the parameters of that muscle movement, and it will stop being painful, and you will have bigger, more extensive lung capacity. So keep going. These are all good side effects. Okay, in and out. We've got 10 more with me. 10, 9 and out. 8 and out. Keep going. In and out. In and out. 5 more. In and out. Like the waves on the shore, imagine the breath circulating in and out. 2 more. And this is our last one. Let it all out. And we're going to hold this breath out, fully out, for 1.5 minutes. Remember, you can pinch your nose shut or just keep some pressure behind the nose to stop air seeping in. And go inside. Really focus now. See if you can find your heartbeat. Listen to it from inside. See if you can concentrate on it so much that you slow your heartbeat down. You are now in control of your autonomic nervous system, once thought impossible. But Wim Hof, through his experimentations with various universities around the world, has changed the science books, rewritten science. Now we understand that it is completely possible to take charge of your autonomic nervous system and be the master rather than the puppet. You've done 1 minute. Keep going. Really feel into the sensations in the body. If you want to take a breath before, that's fine. And I'll give you a 10-second cue if you'd like to pause the video and hold your breath for longer. This is your practice, remember? 10 seconds to go. You're doing really well. 5 seconds to go. Okay, big belly breath in. Hold it and push this breath right up into your head. Imagine you are decalcifying and spring cleaning your pineal gland. And release. Well done. Let's take our final round. Belly, chest, head, let it go. 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 In and out. Waving in and out. Circular breaths. Keep going. You're doing really well. You may find that on this final round you get more lightheaded, especially if you're sitting up. So at any point you need to lie down, that's absolutely fine. And if you don't want to go into celibate pose with me at the end, you can take any variation, whether it's push-ups, sit-ups, whole plank, or if you just want to lie down and enjoy the moment. This is your practice, remember. It's all about you. In and out. In and out. In and out. 10 more. Belly, chest, head, let it go. Belly, chest, head, let it go. Waving in and out. In and out. In and out. Keep going. I've got 5 more. Make these the biggest breaths yet. Keep going. We've got 2 more. And this is our final breath. And then if you're going to come with me, we're going to sit between the feet and either sit up straight, go onto the elbows, or fold back onto the floor with your arms in a bind, elbow bind behind the head, and just relax. Really close down the eyes and feel into the sensations in the body. The pulling on the quads and the front of your thighs, the opening in the hips, sensations in the knees. This is also a slight back bend, so feel into how that feels. It's a shoulder and a heart opener. You're opening your heart out to the world. Just feel into that. How does it feel? Just holding this for 1 minute. Keep going, you're doing really well. And big belly breath in. Hold it, push up through the perineum right to the top of the head. Every single muscle in the body, tense it now. This is your final go at this today, so just give it everything you've got. And release. Well done. Carefully come up to sitting from here, and then we're going to put the toes together, open the knees to just about the width of the mat, and then fold into an extended child's pose between the knees. Forehead to the mat, arms stretched forward with a heart opener, and we're getting a beautiful glute stretch and hip compression here. Just find your breath in and out through the nose now. Nice, long, steady breathing. And while you're here, practice extending your breath, because we're going to do long, extended nasal breathing throughout this practice. Okay, come up to all fours, hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips. And then we're going to arch the back, and we're going to just take long nasal breaths in and out in this position. So arch the back as much as you can. This is cow pose. If you can, let the head go back, because that's also opening and stimulating the thyroid and parathyroid gland, which will increase your metabolism. Okay, and now we're going to do cat stretch. So arch the back the other way, folding your head towards your sternum, pushing up through the arms and the knees with even weight in all 4 limbs, and just take slow, long breaths in and out through the nose. Okay, now just relax that off, and we're going to do balance posture. So take the right front arm out and the left leg out, and we're going to pull up through the abdominals here to keep a nice straight plank straight pose. Okay, so we want a straight spine, using your left arm and your right leg as support, but really imagine you are folding in the ribs and pulling your abs up towards the rib cage. Change hands and foot. So take your left foot out and your right foot out. And again, in this balance pose, try and keep your spine as straight as possible, using the abs to hold you here in a nice strong position. And breathing in and out through your nose. I'm not going to cue up your breaths. I just want you to breathe slowly in and out through the nose for the whole of this practice. Okay. We're going to do heart melting pose or poppy pose. So come onto your knees, fold, open the hands to the width of the mat, and then bring your forehead to the mat. And if you can, bring your chin to the mat. That will just extend the back bend a little bit more. If you can't, your forehead is absolutely fine. This is a very strong heart opening pose and back bend. Keeping some weight in your knees so all the weight isn't in your head. Okay, come back to all fours. And we're going to fold forward into a cobra pose. So hands underneath the shoulders, If your neck is comfortable and you have no pain, tip it back and look up, opening out the throat. And let's just hold it, breathing in and out through the nose. Do not sink into your shoulders here, keeping some pressure through them so we don't damage the joints. Everything works when we do yoga, so we keep and protect our joints. Okay, lie flat on the mat and take hold of your legs with your hands from the outside, or your feet with your hands, and then raise everything up off the mat. This is a full body posture. It works every major muscle group. So really, really breathe into this. Keep breathing. If you can, tilt your head back as well to get the stretch in the neck and the head. That's amazing. Keep pulling back on those feet. Keep opening those shoulders. Keep raising everything up off the mat. And let it go. Just come back down to the floor. Well done. That was not easy. Now push up into a plank pose. And we're just going to hold a plank for a few breaths. So find your position. Make sure your shoulders are below your hands are below your shoulders. And make your body is in a plank position. Looking down a few centimetres in front of your fingers. And keep breathing. Slow in and out breaths through the nose. And now let's push back into a downward dog. And let's slowly walk out that dog. So right leg bends, left leg bends. Bend the right leg. Bend the left leg. We're trying to work our legs in downward dog towards straight and the heels towards the mat. The heels are slightly turned out so you can't see them between your feet, and that will give you the right hip alignment. And it's a heart opening pose. So your head has no weight in it and your heart is melting towards the floor. Keeping some work in the shoulders so you don't collapse into them. And then take your right leg high and open out the hip. This is a strong hip opener. Try and keep even weight into the arms. Really open out that hip as much as you can. So we're getting a twist in the torso as well as the hip opener and a stretch in the left leg. Straighten the leg and bring it back down. Take the left leg high. Bend the knee, open the hip. Again, open that hip as much as you can, but keep even weight in the hands. So we're twisting in the torso, we're opening the hip and getting a stretch in the right leg. With all of these poses, you'll find you're working more than one muscle group. Really focus into those sensations and keep breathing. Come back to downward dog. Look forwards and step to the front of the mat. And we're going to take a forward fold. So bend the right leg, left leg. Put the left hand on the floor and raise the right and straighten the right leg. So we're really getting into that right hamstring. We're twisting in the body and we're opening out the shoulders. Look up to the right hand. So we're also twisting from the top of the spine to the bottom. Change sides. Right hand comes to the floor. Right leg bends. Left leg straightens. Left arm raises. Look up to the left arm. And breathe. Wherever you're feeling any pain or discomfort, if it's sharp, then ease off. But if it's achy, breathe into it. Straighten out the legs. And then take the hands and put them, if you can, below the feet. So you're standing on the palms of your hands. And then just flop forward with your head. So there's no weight in your head. You're not forcing this forward. It's just a passive forward fold. Work your legs towards straight, but if you need to keep a bend in them, that's fine. Okay, take the hands out and then slowly, vertebra by vertebra, roll up to standing. And then step to the front of the mat. We're going to take tree pose on the right leg. So left leg is our standing leg. Bring the right leg into the thigh and raise the arms up high. Internally rotate the shoulders so your pinkies are turning towards each other. And gaze, find somewhere to balance, a spot on the wall or wherever you're looking at to balance. And breathe slowly in and out through the nose. And now we're coming to staff pose. So straighten the leg out ahead of us and just hold that leg out straight. Don't lean back into this to hold the pose. We're keeping the back as straight as we did in tree pose. Use the work in the quads and the glute to keep the leg up. Okay, change sides. So this time we're bringing the left leg into the right thigh, raising the hands above the head, gazing forwards, internally rotate the shoulders so our pinkies are facing each other. And just breathe. You don't have to have your foot right in the thigh if you're struggling to balance here. You can keep a toe on the floor or into the ankle or just above the knee, but never put it on the knee. Now take it into staff pose. So foot straight ahead and use the quad strength and glute strength to balance. Do not lean backwards. We're using the strength in our legs and our abs to hold this position and breathe. Breathe into where the work is. Okay, release. Step to the front of the mat. Raise the arms above the head. Back bend, cactus the arms. Raise the hands above the head and then swan dive forwards to a forward fold. Working the legs towards straight. Step back into a plank. And then very, very slowly, we're going to tip forward onto the toes. And we're going to take a very, very slow chaturanga. Upward dog. Hold it. Breathing in and out slowly through the nose. And then flip over the toes back into a downward dog. Come to stillness in your downward dog and keep breathing. It's vital that you breathe constantly during this practice. Breathe at your own pace. Okay, we're going to do Ekapada Chaturanga. So take the right leg high. Three-legged dog. Come onto the left toe, look forwards, tilt over the hands, and slowly, 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 Ekapada Chaturanga. Upward dog. Then tip over the toes, downward dog. Well done. Breathe. Come back to your breath. You'll feel the difference in the legs after that Ekapada Chaturanga. It's a strong yoga pose. Take the left leg high, three-legged dog. Find stillness. Come onto the right toes. Come forwards. Tip over the hands. Ekapada Chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward dog. Beautiful. Well done. Find stillness in your downward dog. Come back to your breath. Breathe in to the muscles that you are working. Look forward. Hop to the front of the mat. Take a forward fold. Working the legs towards straight here. And then roll up to standing. Arms above the head, hands to heart center. Let's flow again. Okay, raise the arms above the head. Swan dive with control forwards into a beautiful forward fold, working legs towards straight. Monkey or flat back, just find that position. Halfway lift. Bring the hands to the mat and jump back to chaturanga if that's in your practice. If not, step back. Lower down, upward dog. Tilt that head back and breathe. Flip over the toes, back into your downward dog. Find stillness, find your breath. Breathe into the muscles that are working. Raise the right leg high, three-legged dog. Look forwards and step the right foot between the hands. Lower the back knee, the left knee, and raise up to crescent lunge. Look up to the hands, internally rotate the shoulders so pinkers are turning. Keep some weight into that front leg so both legs are working evenly, but don't let your knees go over your right foot. Bring the hands back down to the mat, come into a low lunge. Look up. We're not folding into the hands here, so there's barely any weight in those fingers. We're just using the floor to steady us, not to hold us. The work is all in the legs here. Breathe into it. Straighten out the front leg, the right leg. Flat back, pyramid pose variation. And fold into that right knee. Nose to knee. Keeping the back heel off the floor in this pyramid pose variation. And breathe. Your right hamstring's working hard. Keep breathing into it. Bring the left heel down to the floor. Bend into the right knee. And we're going to come up into warrior one. Internally rotate the shoulders. Look straight ahead. And keep working to both legs. Open out to warrior two. Arms straight and away from shoulders, looking over the right fingers. Hip is open, arms are open, heart is open here. Front foot is facing the top of the mat and the right foot is turning at 30. Reverse your warrior. So look to the back of the room. Left hand slides down the left leg and the right hand comes overhead. And just hold it. Keeping even weight through the legs. And then fold forward. Into a side angle pose. Right hand comes to the floor, left hand comes over the head, so you have a beautiful line of energy from your left toes to your left fingers, and either gaze up or look straight ahead. Come up, and we're going to take triangle pose, Trikonasana. Tick-tock forward, right hand comes to the mat, left hand comes to the ceiling. Look up at your left hand, keeping even weight in both legs. Again, this is a heart opener and a hip opener, so the body should be facing the side of the room. And we're going to reverse that triangle. So take the left hand to the floor and open the right hand out. So we've triangle pose with a twist in the body. Looking up to that right arm now. Keep breathing. Breathe into where the work is. Bring the hand back to the mat. Come into a low lunge. Find the low lunge position. Keep breathing. Step back to plank. slowly lower to chaturanga, centimetre by centimetre. Really work those arms. Upward dog. And then flip over the toes into downward dog. Well done. That was not an easy flow, but we're going to do it now on the other side. Let's just take some breaths in this downward dog. You should really feel the difference in the sides now of your body. Okay, take the left leg high, three-legged dog, and hold it. The hips are closed here. This is not a hip opener. Bring the leg between the hands, the foot between the hands, and come into crescent lunge. Raising the arms above the head, internally rotate the fingers, the shoulders, and look up. So we're getting a back bend here as well. Remember not to let the knee go over the front toes on the left leg. Really work into those inner thighs. Bring the hands back to the mat, come to that low lunge and find the position. Remember, we're not collapsing our weight into the hands here. The legs are doing all of the work. Straighten the front leg, staying on the toes on the back foot, flat back pyramid pose variation. And then fold the head into the knee on the left. So the head folds into the left knee. And breathe. There's a lot going on here. My hamstrings are tight this side. So I was constantly imagining that the breath I was doing I was sending it directly to those hamstrings. Spin the heel to the mat and come up into warrior one pose. Hips facing the front of the mat. This is not a hip opener. So both hips should be facing the front of the room and the shoulders should be facing the front of the room. Really fold down into that knee, that front knee. And use your knit in the ribs and use the strength of the abs to hold you in position. Okay, open out into warrior two. So this is a heart opening pose, shoulder opener and a hip opener. So your body is open to the front of the room and you're looking over your left fingers, gazing straight ahead, shoulders away from ears. Reverse your warrior. So this time right hands come down the right leg, left arm raises above the head, gaze up to the left fingers. So you're getting a beautiful side bend in the left side of the body, as well as this stretch. Side angle pose. Left arm comes to the floor, right hand fingers go over the head and you look up to the ceiling. Getting again a beautiful line of energy all down the right hand side from the toes to the fingers. Come back to a low lunge. And we're going to open out tick-tock triangle pose. Left hand down to the floor and gaze up to the right fingers. If you need a block for any of these postures, or you can put your hand on your ankles or your thighs, just don't rest any weight on your knees. And there should really be no weight in the hands here anyway. Reverse that triangle pose. So right hand comes to the mat, left arm lifts, look up to the left hand or gaze straight ahead for balance. Reverse triangle. Keeping the back foot on the mat, the back heel. Okay, come into a low lunge, find your position, keep breathing in and out slowly through the nose. Step back into a plank. Side plank on the right. So left foot stacks on top of the right, left arm comes over the head. And just breathe. Do not collapse into your right shoulder here. Use your arm strength and shoulder strength to keep you pushing up and lift the hips. Change sides. Weight on the left, right arm comes over the head, right foot stacks on left, gaze up to the ceiling. Use your hips to bump up and get that beautiful straight body posture. Well done. Keep breathing. Come to plank. Come forwards, lower, all the way down to the floor. Well done. Come up onto all fours. Come fold back into a child's pose between the knees. You're working really hard, so we're just going to take a recovery child's pose. Extended child's pose with the arms out, so we're still opening the shoulders and getting a beautiful compression in the hips and a stretch in the glutes. Head on the floor. Okay, back to all fours. And we're going to come into camel's pose. So knees are hips width apart, and you can either put the hands on the back to do this and lean back, put the hands on the heels, or you can have your feet flat on the floor and come to the heels like I'm doing. Find the variation that suits you and breathe. If you can tilt your head back all the way like I'm doing, that's excellent. But if you have any pain in your neck, sharp pain or stabbing or electric kind of pains, then keep your head and neck in line and don't let it fall back. Okay, sit back between your feet. Well done. That's not easy. Okay. We're going to come to garland pose, a low yoga squat, and bring the hands to heart center, using the elbows to push the legs open more. So we're bringing the hands towards the heart and using the elbows to really open the groin here and breathe. Keeping the back as straight as possible. And then without using your hands, come up to standing. Well done. Okay, open the legs and keep them parallel to the front of the mat. And we're going to do some wide-legged forward folding. So find a good position. Open out the arms. And then we're going to do fold halfway. So to find halfway, I usually put my hands down to the floor and then open my arms back out, because that's generally a flat back pose for me. And then just hold it, keeping your head and neck in line, so your head isn't tipped back here. We're trying to keep a straight back, so the weight is in the legs and the work is in the abdominals and the back to hold you in position. And then take the left hand to the right foot, raise the right arm up high. We're going to do a twist here and hold it. Keep breathing. Change sides. Come back to the center and just hold it. Holding onto those feet now. If you can, just leverage a little bit more fold. Use it, pulling on the legs. Try and keep the legs as straight as possible. And then we're going to go to the side. So the right hand comes to the left leg. Left arm goes up high. Gaze up to the ceiling or straight ahead. We're getting a beautiful twist in the body here and working a lot down the back of those legs, stretching the lower spine and a stretch in the glutes. Come back to center. We're going to do a little arm balance here. So bring the feet in a little bit, heel toe them, and take the hands as far back as you can between the legs. And we're going to come into chaturanga arms. Heel toe the feet together. My mat's crinkled up here. Link the feet and then take the weight of your body on your chaturanga arms. So lift the feet off the mat. You can't really tell my feet came off the mat here, but I assure you they did. So keeping the weight into the hands, and then you can just come onto the floor, onto your bottom, and then we'll come into butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together, and you can either hold onto the ankles and press the knees open with your elbows, or I like to hold onto my feet and use the leverage of holding onto my feet to get a straighter back. And breathe. Okay, face the front of the mat. And we're going to come into boat pose. So we're just going to hold this boat. So we're raising the legs towards 90 or above, holding the arms out. If you struggle to hold this pose for any length of time, you can hold on behind your knees if you need to. Now take the hands into Arrow Mudra and take them over to the right hand side. So we're getting the stretch now, so I'm working the obliques. Make sure you're staying on your sitting bones, and the abdominal muscles and obliques are you doing all of the work here. Take them to the side, so hands to the left hand side, keeping the legs raised onto the sitting bones, using the abdominals and the obliques to do all of the work. This is a strong abdominal workout. Back to centre, just back to boat pose. Just hold it for a few more seconds. Keep breathing. Really straighten up the back now, sit on those sitting bones. Excellent. Okay, come down onto the back. We're going to come into a bridge pose. We're going to do it with a shoulder opener. So heels in towards the bottom, as close as you can. And then link the hands in Venus lock below the body and come onto the shoulders. So we're getting a shoulder opener here, as well as working the glutes, the thighs, and the inner thighs and the abdominals. So push up through the bottom, through the thighs, squeezing the knees, trying to squeeze the knees together. And really, really squeeze that bridge pose up as high as you can. Keeping the head flat and long along the floor, in line with your neck. Bring it back down. Well done. Come to seating. And we're going to come to shoulder balance. So rock the feet upwards towards the sky, point the toes. And then if you can, come onto your shoulders, using your arms to take the weight and keep them into your lower back. Shoulder balance. This is our inversion. Do not turn your head in this pose. It's a very strong cervical stretch. So if you don't know how to do this, watch it first and then do it. Okay, now we're going to take the feet above the head into plough pose. Bring the arms down to the floor, flat along the floor, to help our balance. The toes are on the floor over the head. This is plough pose. Really try and straighten the legs here, so you're getting a lot of work down the backs of the legs, as well as that great stretch in the back and the cervical spine. Okay, bend the knees, roll very, very, very slowly back and take hold of your knees and then just rock from side to side. That's a strong pose. Just rock out the back along the mat. Okay, take the right hand to goalpost pose and fold the legs over to the left and look over your right shoulder. I'm going to do a passive twist along the floor. Close the eyes down now and really breathe into the sensations in the body. We're coming to the end of the practice, so let's really go inside and feel into any pressure or tension or pins and needles or any sensations that we've got in the body and the muscles. Come back to centre and then take the legs over to the right and look over the left shoulder, keeping the left shoulder pinned to the mat. I like to put my hand on my knee in this pose just so I can get a little bit more stretch in the spine. But try and keep your left shoulder on the mat. Bring it back to centre. Take baby pose, so take hold of the feet, outside of the feet from the inside. And we're just going to rock from side to side in this baby pose, just to iron out any more kinks in the spine. Try and keep your lower back on the floor here. We're not trying to lift it off the floor. We really want the hips and groins and glutes we're doing the work. And now join me in corpse pose. You've definitely earned this. So feet fall open on the mat. Take a big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose, sigh it out through the mouth. And then come to stillness. Hands facing up on the mat. Head back and just breathe in and out through the nose. Really feel into the sensations in the feet. Go inside. Imagine you're inside your body. Feel into the knees, the thighs. How do your hips feel? Glutes, your abs, your heart area. Feel the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe in and out. Shoulders melting into the floor. Hands heavy along the mat. And then roll your hands and feet on the wrists and your ankles. Stretch your body. Take your feet to the width of the mat and just windshield wipe them from side to side. Just to find some movement before we sit up. And then rock and roll on the spine. 1, 2, last time. 3, and then join me sitting at the front of the mat. Cross-legged or half lotus or full lotus. Bring your hands to heart center. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the divine light within you guide your way on. From my heart to yours, Namaste. Sat Nam.